All right, guys, happy Tuesday. Going to be recapping my Philly card show experience. This was the best Philly show I've ever had. I was set up all 3 days, had chances to buy that walked up, walked around the floor, sold a lot of great stuff, had some stuff lined up. Um, Nearly sold my 49 leaf Larry Adobe, but didn't quite get there. So that's maybe to be done another day. Um, but I just want to recap people I've met, the pickups I made, and talk about the show. Um, so the show did a great job this weekend of getting a lot of people to sign, and I got a lot of people in the door. Saturday was really busy with a lot of Eagles signing. Even Friday, where there were no people signing, was busier than a lot of the Fridays that I remember in the past at Philly. Fridays can be very hit or miss. The first like 2 hours, they give a sneak peek. People can come and walk around and stuff like that before the show opens to the general public. And sometimes, there can be it feels like 50, 100 people in the room. So the energy is not there usually Friday, but Friday was really, really good. Saturday is always a big day for the show. A lot of people, a lot of energy. Sunday, right up until the close, people were in walking around, and Sunday is usually dead at Philly. So I give the promoters a lot of credit for getting people in the door. And I think from a lot of dealers that I spoke to, people said, that they had a good show. So, I give the promoters a lot of credit for putting on a good show. The people that came up and said hello to me, in no specific order, Dan from Dan Vintage Baseball PC, Mookie Chilson, Pete, Sammy Thunder, Mike O, Ed Weskergriff, thanks God, because he didn't say hi to me like the past 3 Philly shows, even though he was there. Reese, Indy Card Ranger, Andrew Nuffstead Cards, Tony, and Stan, who I believe watches the channel, but does not have a channel himself. So thank you, Stan, for introducing yourself. So I have a couple sales lined up and one large purchase. And I'm not going to go through every card because it's like over 200, but I'll just give you an idea about. So this is pretty much, including this wrapper, which is pretty cool. Pretty much all of what's in the purchase, I have not gone through. I mean, I know what's in here, but I've not cleaned it up and priced it and organized in any specific way. So I'm not going to show that this video, or maybe any video, I'm not quite sure. But I'll show just the single cards and the lots that I picked up. Other than that, 220 card lot. What do we want to start with? A lot of stuff walked up. One card's another box, but this is a 5 card lot. The other card is a 61 Topps Bobby Lane. So 65 Frank Robinson, 58 All-Star, an off-center Ripken, and 65 Eddie Matthews. This card walked up from a young, I wouldn't call him a man, he's like 10 years old, maybe 12. But he was only interested in vintage, and I really had a good time talking with him. I made a trade for this card, gave him a couple of strip cards that I had for quite a while that he was really interested in for that. So I was happy to do that deal. This lot was like maybe one of the first things that I bought. Got these for like a stupid good price. 64 Frank Robinson. Just some really cool quality cards here. I was almost going to go back and buy the rest of the vintage baseball cards that he had, which was probably like 115, 120 cards. Not quite stuff like this. My friend John and I pretty much like cleaned him out of his better stuff. But for the price that he was asking for just those cards, it made me consider it. But I did end up passing on that prospect. These next 2 cards walked up with another young collector. He had like kind of like a binder folio kind of thing, and I've been really trying to go after vintage basketball lately because people have been asking me for it a lot. So that was the focus of for the weekend. I really wanted to re-up on vintage basketball, and I don't have any vintage hockey. These were all actually dollar cards that I picked out. So good stuff to go into my $5 box, or in some cases into the showcase if it warrants it. But any of these cards for $1, you can't pass it up. And then there were some more that came from this deal that I'll go over in just a second that are right after. Maravich, not the Band-Aid. So those were all $1. And then included also in this deal, Yount. This one's on eBay right now. This is the gray slate variation. It's known that a lot of, has a number written on there or something. There have been, and I think Dave Blue Jacket 66 has a complete uncut sheet of these. Gray is not a color that is generally found with 49 Bowmans. This rose was just really sharp for $2. And my favorite 60s football set, 69 football, Namath. So that was like a $90 lot right there, which was great. And then the rest of the best was 2 different purchases, and I'll create or identify the line of demarcation between the two. And I'll separate it so you can see what I bought kind of in order. A dealer that I actually know from Facebook, who pretty high-end dealer, and he had a lot of raw cards out on Saturday, which he didn't have out Friday. So I shopped that a lot, and I think I got a really nice deal on these, really fair for both parties, and stuff that I could really use. So 56 Don Newcomb, Minoso, 2 Phil Rizzuto, Snyder, and he had just loads and loads and loads and loads of cards. But I spent a good amount of time at his table. All these cards are really, really nice looking. 2 Campanellas, Harmon Killebrew. It was really good to re-up on my mid to late 50s. Whitey Ford. Always on the lookout for this card. Dodger Sluggers with 3 Hall of Famers featured. K-Line. Rocky Colavito rookie, my first time owning that. Tony Kubek rookie. This is a desirable mid-number. And a Campanella. Also had a range of 60s. So this was, after I showed this next card here, this was the first lot. I think that's 25 cards. The second time, so I kind of had to go back to the table. It was a busy Saturday. I didn't want to spend too much time away. Sunday came around again and made one big sale, which put some money in my pocket, so I wanted to go back and pick out some more, which I did. And so this time wanted to re-up on my Bowmans. So selection of Hall of Famers. Tried to focus on New York players. The places where I set up mostly are in this area, and so these guys are just overall more popular. So obviously, I'll buy cards from out-of-market teams like this Minoso rookie. This John Hetke is a high number in the 53 set. This Jim Bunning rookie is really, really sharp. Happy with this card. And then just a nice selection of really nice looking 58s. When I find these cards and they have this kind of color and look like this, I love picking them up because they look great in the showcase. Very colorful, very bright. The borders are very white. This is a nice looking Pee Wee Reese. And a pretty Elston Howard. These cards are nothing too special in terms of condition, but people like them too. Bob Gibson's from his second year. This was just a really sharp looking card from 61. Another sharp 61, just not centered. Koufax. 64, Lou Brock. 64, Bob Uecker. 64, Clemente. 62, Koufax, quite nice. Another sharp, just off center, top to bottom, Whitey Ford. Pretty nice. Tony Perez rookie. It's been a minute since I've had one of these. He had like maybe 10 Seavers from 68. I think I might have picked the best one. And then 2 of these, which I've detailed in other videos before, always picking them up if I see them and they're nice looking. So all that whole box, had a great time at the Philly show. I just feel like I always do well at this show with what I am selling and then what I'm able to buy and replenish. So I already can't wait for September. I know it's a ways away, and a lot's going to happen, but personally, professionally with me between now and then. But always a show I look forward to, and can't wait for the next one already. So thanks guys for watching. Really appreciate it. Let me know what you guys think, and talk to you soon. Bye now.